Recording in progress. Oh, are we doing all from the beginning?
In the Pop Culture Cupid podcast, we talk about how pop culture influences our expectations in relationships. I'm Alison, love coach, here to help you single people find your way back to love.
Healthy communication. I'm Michelle. I help singles embrace themselves and their singleness, as well as develop a healthy self-relationship. We bring some juicy stories from our own love lives and dating, and it gets pretty interesting. Be focused, we're going to be to the point, and no digressing.
Self-awareness. Follow, share, subscribe, enjoy.
And like and comment.
If it's shockingly bad, we just re-record another one.
Yeah. No, I think there's some good stuff that you can just nitpick. Recording in progress.
Hello again. Let me just get the timer out because we're being good with topics. There we go.
I'm actually surprised at how good we're doing with, keeping to time. You're not digressing. She says as she digresses.
The Christmas episode was touch and go.
Yeah, but there's just so much you can expect from a person.
Yes. We're still human.
Yeah, last time I checked. We have a fun topic today.
We have a fun topic today, which is sex.
S-E-X. So make sure your kids are out of earshot.
Yes. Well, mine is.
Well, I don't think he can comprehend anything at the moment, so.
Not sure that he can understand the words. I think it's kind of like when you're in the water, you kind of just hear noise rather than words. Yeah. So we're good. I mean, it's such a vast topic.
There's so much to unpack, and especially like when you're looking at it as like, I think we've spoken a bit about this before, and it's very different to people who are in relationships, to people who are married, to people who are married with kids, and then also people who are single. So there's a lot of like variations of relationships with sex. So
we'll see where this episode takes us. I've got a deadline today, so I can't really go over, but we'll see how it goes and maybe just do more of the episode, more of the topic, or wait and see when this. So guys, listen to this episode. So this will be coming out, I think we said February.
Yeah.
And then just say if you're missing anything, and we can just come back and record like more episodes, and then just.
You can even send us private messages if you don't want people to see your questions in the comments, but like ask us questions about. Because I think here's the thing about sex is I feel like I don't want to generalize, and I don't want to say, because I don't think it's true for every place in the world, but I feel like it's been a consensus that it's a taboo topic.
Yes.
And people don't talk about it openly, which I think is fine. I don't think we should talk about our sex lives in public to everyone. I think it's a very private thing. But the problem begins when you're struggling to share your sexual needs, desires, pleasures, whatever it is, with your partner or the person that you're with. It's become so ingrained in us that it's like this taboo topic that no one should talk about, and it's like this whole thing, especially in specific religions and cultures and whatever. So then it comes to a point where you struggle to say what you want and what is good for you, what isn't good for you. And maybe you just don't enjoy it as much as you can. Or maybe it just becomes this whole big thing that you create in your mind, and so you stay away from it, or you just ignore it, Yeah,
I agree. I think that talking about sex with anybody in public and things like that is like, it's a topic in itself, in the sense that it is taboo, and it shouldn't be as taboo as it is. But I agree, like, you're not going to talk about your sex life on the public format well, some people do, but it's just, think about it. You're not going to talk about your money earning. You're not going to talk about your health or your parents' health or to anybody at any time. And I think sex is in
Yeah.
the same thing as that. It's just, you know, appropriate discussions at appropriate times without making it taboo and just like feel the mood. Like you're not
Hmm.
gonna, you're not gonna go at a funeral and talk about your sporting techniques, and you're not gonna go to the gym and talk about
Yeah.
finance, and you're not gonna, these things. And it's the same with sex. Like you just, there's time and a place for talking about it. Obviously, the most important person to talk to about sex is the person you're having sex with,
Yeah.
but that definitely should not be the only person you talk about sex with. And, I think different ages are, different people. I think when you're a teenager, you want to be talking to your parents about sex. Like you want to, and I think, I don't know if we have any teenagers listening, but we've probably got parents of preteens listening.
Yeah.
I think it's so important to kind of create a safe space for your kids to talk about sex because they're gonna have it. It's gonna happen. And you want them to have it safely and intelligently and protect themselves. And you want to teach your daughters about birth control and following their cycle, and you want to teach your sons about, protecting themselves and things like that. And
Hmm.
because otherwise they're just gonna mess up, which is normal because, if you talk about, the gym or things like that. If you go to the gym and start lifting weights without knowing what you're doing, you're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And I think the conversation that you create around it with your parents in the early stages is sort of the baseline of it. So it maps everything
yeah,
else out. Like when I was a teenager, my parents didn't really talk to me about it. It was kind of this awkward thing. So sex became this like very awkward thing for me early on. And what I learned was from conversations with friends, and that really helped me. And I think it's why it's so important to have friends that you can talk to
yeah,
about it, you know. And obviously, we're, talk, we're talking about it now, and I think it's an important discussion. But we're not going to go into like the gruesome details of like the what exactly we do in bed and what exactly we like and whatever it is with our partners. But we are going to talk about it as a whole
mm,
because it's important to have this conversation around it and understand that it's important for us to get comfortable with the topic. And when you're comfortable with the topic, you're more comfortable in your own skin and between the sheets. And I think in public, yes, there should be this like privacy about it. When
decorum,
you're with your sorry?
the decorum of just,
Yeah. Yeah. But when you're with your parents or even with like you should have that friend that you can go into details with and you can help each other understand like is what I'm going through normal? Is it not normal? Is there something that I need to know? How do I talk to someone about this and all that? So when you have a friend that you're talking to about it openly, it sort of really helps you discover
I think
yourself in that world.
I completely agree. And I think, you know, the reason we're not going to talk about our own sex lives is just not because there's shame around it. It's just because what we like may not be what you guys like, and it's just, we might do an episode of like just like, these this works and this doesn't work, and don't forget about this
Yeah.
zone and things. We might do that, but this isn't this episode. This episode is kind of just like, to get there, you need to have a conversation first. And
Yeah.
with JT and I, we have many completely open conversations about what's going on in bed and things like that. Sometimes we don't really debrief. I had a partner once where we would debrief a lot. It was actually kind of nice, of just, we did it sometimes, but with JT it was just, well, what works, what doesn't work. But
Hmm.
it's just like, this is what I like. and go here and like, and having that conversation might actually lead to having sex.
Yeah.
And but you, this is what I like, and go here and things like that. And please, ladies especially, like, don't expect your partner to know what to do, because it is more complicated for women to take pleasure from sex than it is from men. And it's not their job to give you pleasure. It's your job to give yourself pleasure and then kind of just make it work with your partner. I think lesbians will probably get that more easily, because they, kind of have a better understanding of this. But I think for straight women, it's just so many of my friends, my girlfriends are like, but he should know that. It's like, well, if nobody's ever told him,
How is he supposed to know? He
how is
doesn't
he
have a woman's
supposed to know?
body. He doesn't know,
Exactly. And
you
like
know?
some women, I have a lot of female friends, like they say, oh, but I love that, or doing that, or receiving that, or I hate that, love that, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And they are convinced that it's the same for every single woman.
No.
And I tell them, like, I hate that. What you just said that you love, I hate it with a passion. And and sometimes vice versa. Like, what you say you don't really like, I kind of really enjoy. And and the re you know and it's the fact that we have these conversations that kind of allows us and them and things like that to just take a step back and understand, like, I don't know, if a concrete example is like blowjobs or cunnilingus or things like that. Some women hate it, others love it.
Yeah.
And I think also to love it, you have to be in a trusting relationship and things like that. Some things I would do, I've never done with a one night stand, but I would gladly do with my, stable
Hmm.
partner and things like that. And that is all through conversation. And some things, it's the same for men. Like, you think that all men like enjoy the same thing, but they really don't. And if nobody actually ever says, I don't really enjoy that, but can we do this instead? Then you just end up kind of waiting for the moment to pass, which is a shame.
Yeah. It is a shame because it can be so amazing and it can be terrible. And I think each person, you said it very well, like each person is very different. And every person you're going to be with is is going to have different desires and different things that pleasure them. So maybe something that another partner you were with loved, this partner is not, and vice versa. And same goes for you. Maybe one thing that you've tried with another person wasn't good for
Mm.
you, but with this person, it will be. And it doesn't really matter what it is. And I think it's also tells of what we love and what is good for like the specific things in our sexual life because it's irrelevant. Can you not
I
hear
think
me?
that the microphone's
Oh,
changed.
what happened? Hold on. Yeah, it did change. Why did that happen?
There we go.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Something changed my okay, whatever. What was the
What you like with one person, you don't really like with another, and
yeah, so wait, let me get back. So I think should I do that whole thing again?
no, no, no,
It's
as we
fine. So
are.
I think the reason why we're not going into too much detail of like what we enjoy specifically and what we are, you know, what we like and don't like is because it's irrelevant. I think
Yeah.
it's not the most important part in the conversation. The most important part is the communication, like you said. Like Zev and I also, we talk about it so much together all the time. I mean, to the point where it sort of does become like the foreplay, just
Yeah.
like talking what you like and what you don't like, and just in general talking about sexual things and saying sexual things to each other, and 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 then you discover together what works for you, and it may have not worked in a different relationship, but that's fine, to each their own. But when you have this open conversation about it,